All right, let me check that everything is working. Hopefully. Oh yeah, it works. Let me bring the music. All right, so let's talk about what's going on. Well, first things first, I deployed version from last stream. It's here. And let me show you something. I actually, yeah, I had to fix something. Yeah, the problem was that glass wasn't destroyed on explosion. So practically, if you do something like this, now it's getting destroyed, but it wasn't because, yeah, it's try explosion manager to access destructible object, but it wasn't defined on the glass because glass doesn't inherit the chain entity, so it just needed its own reference like this, and it started to work. Yeah, main menu, I just upgraded version here, so this is working, and I was thinking to do the next part. Let me show you. Practically, I wanted to migrate this to new ES6 models like this to benefit from dead code elimination. So I would expect packages to get smaller after this change, except it didn't happen. Yeah, what I did, I practically tried to replace all these imports on Babylon.js / something, and I did like the whole branch for that. And you know what? It didn't work. In fact, output bundle became even bigger. So I decided to keep it as it is. And actually, let me explain why. You see, as soon as we load level manager, we automatically load all our level files. We don't instantiate them, but we are still loading them. And those files, particularly test level, it loads pretty much all our code base, and that code base loads like most of Babylon dependencies because we're using a lot of things from there. And because we need all that code like at once, it makes sense to pack it as a single bundle. That's why pretty much, even if I switch to new modular system, we still receive one huge package of code that need immediately, because we like intentionally loading everything at once, because again, we require all levels to be loaded, and all levels require a lot of stuff to be loaded. And this is exactly why we're having this huge chunk of code here that's being loaded. So if I renew it, wait, I think. I think I need to load here. Look here. So let me, okay. And as soon as I go here, yeah, we're loading all our code base in a single lump. Actually, no. Wait. Let me show you here, because here it's not compiled on localhost, it's dev server. Yeah, let me show you how it goes here. Yeah, so we're pretty much loading this huge bundle on start. We're loading it at once. We don't really benefit on any like on-demand JavaScript loading here. Can we do something about it? Well, yeah. For example, here we can just create abstract references, but if we not loading, if we're not importing level from the beginning, if we just create here abstract reference and we'll import the model on demand, technically we can decrease initial bundle, but I don't feel like it worth it, because we are not saving like much space, because those levels, what are in these files? There are just like level description, like some scripts, and eventually I believe most of our level structure will move to like description files, as we did for monsters, and maybe with some of the scripts. I expect levels to be like even thinner, or maybe around this size by the end of the day. And splitting code into like multiple chunks just for levels will not give us much of size savings. More than that, it will actually increase load time, because right now we are downloading all the package at once. Yeah, we have to wait a little bit at the beginning, but after that we have all our code loaded. We just maybe need to pull some assets like textures, models and stuff, but we already have a code loaded. At least we don't have like delay. And overall that code bundle, it's not that huge. Well, unless we'll have like thousands level, maybe thousands of levels, maybe this is where it starts to play a role. But overall, I was looking at that, I thinking I decided just to leave everything as is. It was an interesting experiment, but again, if I use these imports, I received output bundle even smaller than if I will use this approach, like Babylon.js / something. And let it be. I'm totally fine to load all the code at once, because we're not saving much of the space here, and in fact we may only introduce some like unnecessary delays, and it's better to load it once and forget about it. And again, it's not like that disturbingly big. I believe code package with all Babylon included, like maybe around like 8 megabytes. I mean, compare it to overall size of textures, models that we are going to import, it's like nothing. However, assets optimization is also a thing that we could be working on. So yeah, but you may notice like, hey, what's this and why you added it in a new way instead of like this? Well, I tried to do it that way, and for some reason it didn't work. I couldn't like start it. So I think it's okay. Some models, especially if we are going to load them asynchronously, in a new way, and let me explain what is this. It's pretty much inspector version 2 in Babylon.js, which appeared in Babylon 8 branch. Let me show you what I did with it. Yeah, pretty much there. So inspector just expects to receive some scene on the input, and by default we will be inspecting current scene, the one that is running, but I give an opportunity to pass any scene because we may have multiple scenes running at the same time, and the best example of it is, for example, here, like the level and the menu are technically two different scenes, and if we want to debug this one, we can just pass reference to that scene. And what happens, so if we pass the scenes, it asynchronously loads module and then initialize it. So pretty much this one we truly load asynchronously. We don't need to load that until it's really needed, because we will use this inspector occasionally. And you can actually see it here, how exactly it works. So, okay, let me load the level maybe. So, if I go here, go console. Okay, by default it will load current scene. You can actually even like disable menu. It's loading the package. It starts this new inspector. If we go here, well, it didn't show anything because I believe I need to stay on the tab. Can I actually do this tab at the bottom somehow? Yeah. Okay, let's try one more time. It may actually have it here. Okay, let's just do the whole thing. Okay, let's check. I reboot. Okay, it loaded. And now, if I request inspector here, it injects these things. Couple more bundles. This one is huge, and yeah, this is inspector mostly. Yeah. And here all our entities, walls, stairs, turret, and you can explore stuff. Inspector version 2 is much more capable, but the downside of it is that it's quite heavy, and I noticed that it slows down the things quite noticeably. And yeah, if you call this function once again, it will dispose it. Interestingly, the old inspector still can be invoked. Scene, debug layer, show. This one is still working. And it also actually loading something like separately. Yeah, so practically you can use both. This one more lightweight, and I would personally say I would use this one if this one is enough, because another V1 version 2 much more heavy, both in terms of package size and in terms of like performance. It slows down things. I believe the second one is built on React in some way. Yeah, but we have some flexibility here, and good thing that we not loading it by default. We load it only when we need it. That small addition that I wanted to add here. And maybe while we're here, let's try to do something interesting. So this here we loaded the scene on the background, right? So we have some like stuff where torches, blocks, fontaine, right? But now let's pass where the scene, level manager, main menu, main menu scene. So we pass the different one. And as you can see, there are no meshes and in this menu scene, but you can see this overlay thing. You can see stack panels, for example, if this is this one, stack panel, and you can actually see how some buttons are hidden in this menu, like save game in the main menu is disabled, but it's there. We can experiment. Yeah, we can pass anything here and inspect it that way. But I believe it also works even for version 1. Yeah, totally works. Begin button. Where do we have this, like, new game stack panel? Pretty much we can. Oh yeah, I think this one, right? So yeah, you can use old one, you can use a new one. New one is more capable but heavier, old one faster, and for the new one we load it only when we need it, and the old one included by default. Well, yeah, that's it for today. It doesn't seem like it's a lot, but I spent some time for all those experiments on this branch. I'm actually glad that I did it, because I realized how our code is being shipped. I found the best approach. Here actually I tried to build. As you can see, it produces a huge bundle where the Babylon is, where our code is. It produces this thing for physics, and all those things that are actually related to Inspector version 2, pretty much. Most of it, at least. And those things are not being loaded until you explicitly call Inspector. So yeah, code splitting works, and it works pretty much even like with old approaches. In new approach, as Babylon.js recommends. It still works, but for some reason in my cases it produces much bigger bundles. So I decided it doesn't make sense to switch, so we'll keep it as is. Yeah, I know I said a lot of things that you probably didn't understand what I was saying, but I hope it makes sense. Well, yeah, I tried to switch to ES6 models, realized it didn't work because new bundles appeared to be even bigger. I decided to leave as is. And we also installed Inspector version 2 as a part of those experiments. Alright, so let's commit it. I increased version to 1, I believe it was 854.1 before. So that's pretty much all I did for now. And I think it's good. I can maybe even create new release with just that. Like nothing changed, just Babylon version increased, and we have additional inspector, so later you will be able to play with it here on the public version. Yeah. Alright, well, I'm sorry it's maybe not so exciting today, but I didn't prepare anything else. For the next time, I actually don't know what we're going to do, because I thought that this migration will keep us busy for a while, but in fact it's not needed. Actually, let me switch on that branch. Yeah, I tried this, and let me just show you how huge change that was. Yeah, see? I pretty much started importing everything like this everywhere, but output result wasn't satisfying to me. It was just even bigger bundle than we have. Code splitting is not working because we importing all our code here from the beginning. So I hope it's more clear now. Alright, regarding next time, I don't know guys. I need to think. If I come up with something interesting, yeah, we'll do the stream. If not, maybe I will take 1 week for a break to give myself more time. We definitely have some optimizations pending, like all that collision detection stuff. I actually think since we simplified a little bit our monster classes, we can maybe try to do like collision detection solely based on bounding boxes, because it's easier. Maybe in this case we can increase amount of monsters to be present at the same time. I think it's kind of necessary optimization. Yeah, it will not be like super precise, but we limited. Browsers are not supposed to run heavy stuff, and JavaScript as well. Also, actually, while playing with Inspector version 2, I realized that some things are off, so we really need to think about patching the core of our engine before moving forward. But this may take time, so I literally need seed decompose it and figure out how to make it in a good way. Yeah, so let's see. I hope I will prepare something for next week. If not, then see you in 2 weeks, I guess. Thank you so much, everyone who keeps eye on my streams. I really appreciate it. Have a nice upcoming week.